Hey, what's going on? This is Sean Rico with Sean Rico Forex. Just coming from downtown, going back out to the crib. Yo, just want to talk to y'all, man, about I want to talk to y'all about this. After doing Forex, I've been doing Forex for a little over a year now, right? And when you first start off on your demo account. You got a mentor, YouTube, whatever you're doing, you're showing your stuff, right? And let me tell you something. It's always easy, man, to be bold and confident when you're in demo mode. When you're in demo mode and you hop in a trade and you start dropping, say, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 pips. You're like, cool. I'll just wait it out. I'll wait it out. Sometimes you still keep going that direction. Then you finally just give up on a trade and hop out. But when you switch to your live account and it's your real money, you only got to get to 50 or 60 pips before you're freaking out. You're getting down 15 pips, 10 pips, 15, 20 pips. My God, don't get down to 25. You think you're losing your whole bank account. But that's the psychology of Forex. One thing I learned about Forex, man, either Forex is going to make you or break you. And I want to say this. When it comes to Forex, there's going to be times, man, when you actually get in with your live trades, you're going to do good, like real good in demo, right? And the reason why you're doing real good in demo is because you're not really having no fear. But once you switch it to that live account, man, all that fear is going to kick in. You're going to second guess yourself. You're going to be wondering, like, man, what am I doing? Man, you're going to blame yourself, like, man, am I stupid? I'm an idiot. Why would I do something like that? Like, man, I thought I can do it. Like, what's wrong? Like, you'll mentally start beating yourself up. Man, and that's like the worst thing to do. And you start giving up on yourself. And once you give up on yourself, man, it's a wrap then. Man, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe, like, hey, I'm not perfect. But, man, if I can hit 7 out of 10 trades, 8 out of 10 trades. When I was growing up, I think 70% was passing. I don't know what it is now, the young generation. But, man, I still am a firm believer that if you can hit 7 out of 10 trades, you're winning. And, you're always just going to have some loss from time to time. That's just inevitable. It's just going to happen. So I just want to, encourage y'all, man, the only way you're going to lose in Forex is if you quit. I always hear these different stats floating around on the internet. Out of 100%, only, 4%, 6% are successful Forex traders. And I'm like, man, so you mean tell me over 90% of the people aren't successful? And I'm like, no, you got to put your time, your work, and your effort in, and don't quit. And that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, I get it. Because there was times that I was like, man, I should just quit. Don't worry about this no more. Find something else to do. But as soon as I was like, man, I'm done. Within like a day or two, man, that itch and burning desire to get back in there, to hop back on the charts and not let it defeat me. I was like, nah, man, you ain't going to beat me. I'm going to keep doing this until I start winning. And eventually, that's what happens, man. But I understand now why over 90% are unsuccessful. They quit. Listen, it takes time. I'll tell you what. I was one of those persons when I was watching other people on YouTube or my mentor and all that. Like, man, it ain't going to take me no 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get good at this. Man, I'm going to do this in 3 to 4 months. I already saw y'all mistakes. I saw where y'all messed up at. Man, give me 4 or 5 months. I'm good. Let me tell you something. You're going to find out you make the same exact mistakes as your mentor, the YouTube. Now, they successful, but you got to go through the bumps and bruises like them. You think by watching them like, oh, I know your mistakes. I ain't going to make those same mistakes. Yes, you will. You're going to make the same mistakes as your mentor, the YouTube, or whoever you learn from. It just happens that way. And, the old folks used to say, Man, they just got to learn the hard way. Man, my mentor used to tell me all the time, man, you're not listening to me. All right, you're just going to have to go through it, or you'll see. And I'm like, okay, I got this now. I understand. Man, it's like in the beginning, the more you think you understand, the more you really don't understand. And can I tell you something? It doesn't matter what training, what indicator, how many hours you spent. Like, trading is an art. It's a science to it. You ever hear people talk about boxing? Say, man, you can train and punch the bag and spar all you want, but boxing, there's a sweet science to it. Same thing with trading. You could see an indicator and be like, man, this indicator is telling me to buy or it's telling me to sell. But something in your gut, the experience of you doing it for so long, is like, man, I don't think that's. And sure enough, your gut feeling most of the time told you right. Like, man, exactly. Now, without no experience, you hop on whatever the indicator says. If the indicator says buy, you buy. If it says sell, you selling. And then what happens? You get caught in a bad retracement, and you thinking that retracement can last a while, and you thinking like, oh God, I messed up. And by the time you hop out and get out of that trade, and tell me if this ever happens, as soon as you get out, that next candlestick start going the opposite direction. You're like, I can't believe it. And then you think that's just a retracement. Nah, it keeps going and going and going past where you got in at, and you're like, I can't believe this. So there's an experience, there's an art, there's a science, a sweet science to that. And what happens is, after you do Forex for so long, you start to see the charts and understand the charts, and it's like almost you become one with, not almost one, but you almost have a feeling like, oh, I know what this is going to do now. Especially with consolidations. One of the hardest things for a new trader to understand is consolidation, because a consolidation, even though it's going sideways, it has a nice good up and down 20, 30 pips. You know, it just up and down. And a lot of times, by the time you try to hop in a consolidation, by the time you hop in and make that decision, it starts going the opposite direction. And then you're like, oh my God, and you wait, and by the time it's done and opposite, all right, I'm gonna hop on the train. I'm gonna go with it. And then next thing you know, it whips in again and comes down the opposite direction. You're like, and by that time, you're just ready to quit and give up. Like, man, I can't win for trying. That's the thing. Two things. I talked to you. I said earlier, you gotta have the experience. You gotta understand the sweet science, and you have to have patience. Listen, I didn't even go in and trade at all this week. You know why? Because I didn't really see anything that come out. I got to the point now, I'm a 4-hour trader. I like to ride that 4 hours. I like to, when I'm in a 4-hour trades, listen, I went all week without getting a trade because I didn't see what I like. When I'm doing 4 hours, if I'm not catching at least 40, 50 pips minimum, if I don't see it, I won't get in a trade. And listen, I'll go as low as 30 pips, but 30 pips is like the bare minimum. If I don't think I'm gonna get at least 30 pips out of it, minimum 40, I'll just wait. And like, oh man, you missed it. It did 27, 28 pips, almost 30. I don't care. Listen, when one trade is gone, another one's there. Listen, this trade's going on almost every day. You know, I don't trade on the weekends, but Sunday night through Friday, there's trades every single day. It's okay if you miss one. Wouldn't you rather miss a trade and miss out versus hop in a trade and lose your money? Common sense. So, you know, that's what I want to throw that out to you. That's what I want to teach you. I mean, you got to understand, it takes time to understand the sweet science of trading, understanding market structure. Like, you get to understand that pattern because you see it over and over and over. But let me tell you something. It takes at least a year for you to get that aha moment. Okay, I've seen this pattern 1,000 times. Aha, I get it now. So, trust me, you're not going to get that in the first few months, 6 months, 8 months. Like, it literally takes about a year and constant. Not just start, stop. You got to be constant. Constantly every week on the charts, whether you trade or don't trade. You don't even have to trade, but just get on there and watch those charts, see what they're doing, and get a feel of what the market and the structure is going to do. And that's it. So Yeah, a lot of the reason why there's a lot of successful traders because they don't take time to understand the sweet science of trading, and two, they don't have the patience to wait. Just gotta wait. If you miss it, cool. There's another one coming. I promise you that. All right, this is Sean Rico with Sean Rico Forex. We signing out.